Well, let's talk now about BP. The oil giant has been encouraged by shareholders to sell off underperforming assets, including those in green energy. Maybe it's a case of go woke, go broke. Ralph Schoellhammer is a political theorist with me now and a professor. Ralph, great to have you on the programme. This is perhaps unsurprising. There are some who want to put all the money, time and effort into renewables, but actually BP being told by its shareholders to ditch net zero.
No, it's wonderfully amusing. We moved from British Petroleum then to Beyond Petroleum, and now we are moving to Back to Petroleum.
Back to Petroleum, yeah, exactly.
It's nice that everything works with the abbreviation BP, but it makes complete sense. If you remember, Peter, the two of us got to know each other on the issue of net zero, I think now almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think our positions have been entirely vindicated. This was a luxury belief. It was a luxury project that some of the elites and the governments and those who could afford it were indulging in. And now we get the bill, and it turns out that we can no longer afford it. So the long march back to reality is finally happening. I'm just afraid how painful it is going to be and who is going to have to shoulder the brunt of the burden, because I'm afraid it's not going to be Ed Miliband, it's not going to be the politicians, it's most likely going to be the people who will pay for it in higher prices, more inflation and fewer jobs.
They are already, though, in many ways, of course, and we see that this the net zero dream of so many seems to be faltering in this country as well and across Europe.
Oh yeah, the dream of some became the nightmare of many. And this is what we have experienced all over the continent and also in the UK. I will never understand, after Germany gave us the perfect negative role model, how not to do it, why so many countries, particularly the United Kingdom, decided to follow them over the cliff. Remember, we also talked about the ban on internal combustion engines. Now the EU is reversing itself. I hope at least that the UK is going to do the same. All of these policies have always been, to put it mildly, crazy for those who wanted to see it. But we have to admit there was a cartel of the media, of academia, of cultural influencers and of politics who tried to gaslight us and to more or less ask us, whom do you believe, us or your lying eyes? But once again, I think we got the answer.
When you look at the broad sweep of politics across Europe, from where you're sitting to where I'm sitting, do you see those who are perhaps against net zero policies, those who will see a different way? Not that we don't want the environment, we don't want green spaces and we don't want clean air. Of course, everybody wants that. But when you see people like Nigel Farage and Bardella, of course, in France as well, others across Europe as well, rising and getting greater support, how much of that do you think? Obviously, immigration is a huge, huge issue, and there are many other economic factors around this, but an economic factor is, of course, how much money is put into net zero. How much of an element do you see that in all of this?
Well, as I said many times, on the path from abundance to poverty is revolution. First at the voting booth, and in the worst case, at some point in the streets. And I also want to add, and I always said this, there is a specific energy mix for every country. Norway can do things that the UK can't do. Northern Africa, California can do things that Sweden can do. So there is a specific mix. This idea that for every country, regardless of their geographic location, wind and solar is going to be the solution was always crazy. No, if you have, let's say, the sun, the radiation exposure like Australia has in certain parts, but even they are having problems now, or North Africa, you can do it. But solar power in Sweden, in Northern England, that was always crazy. And again, as I said before, everybody who wanted to see it sees it now, but this will be difficult to reverse. And as we see now in the UK and in other places, once this comes together with other issues, like the migration issue, like with the debate about, about war, which is going on all over Europe, the patience of people is running thin. And ironically, or in many ways I would say in a very positive way, the very electoral system the UK has that was supposedly designed to prevent a realignment or makes realignment of the electorate very, very difficult. It looks like it is going to happen. So 3 cheers to the UK electoral system, 3 cheers to the people of the UK who I think are about to express their voice. We're going to make use of the democratic right, and hopefully change is going to come quickly enough.
Yeah, it's interesting actually. In Scotland as well, the system they set up was supposedly to lock Labour into power, and then of course they had coalitions and the SNP took power as a majority as well. So it doesn't always work out how these things are designed. Ralph, as always, thank you. And Merry Christmas to you as well. That's Ralph Schoellhammer, who is a political theorist. He's a professor at Webster University in Vienna as well.